Hi, my name is Amie Peck, and I'm the Public and Stakeholder Engagement Manager, a program of the Canadian Cattlemen's Association. I'm here to give you a quick update on what the program has been up to throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. As soon as the pandemic was announced, our crisis communications plan went into effect. And so we've been part of the media relations team and really looking to support the larger industry communication efforts. Whether it's on trade or border opening or processing backlogs, we're really just working as a cohesive team, largely between CCA, PSE, as well as the National Cattle Feeders Association. And so we've been coordinating interviews, selecting spokespersons, and preparing key messages, and also been writing industry updates and president's statements. So really supporting wherever we can on the communications front. We've also developed these media town hall events. And so it's essentially an online press conference. And so we're able to both get our updates out in a really efficient way, as well. It's a great consolidation of time for our spokespersons. So if they're getting, 4 to 5 media requests a day, now they can just join a 1-hour session and speak to all the different media outlets and answer their questions at that same time. We've also been able to bring in industry partners, which really shows the cohesion within the industry. So Canada Beef has participated, as well as the Canadian Meat Council. And you can see from the graphic, our last press conference following the federal funding announcement also had the Canadian Pork Council and the Canadian Federation of Agriculture. So depending on the subject matter, we've invited either strictly agricultural media or we open it up for also mainstream media coverage. And we've had about an average of 15 to 20 journalists and reporters attending per session, which is great. And this last one, obviously lots of interest in the funding announcement, and we actually had over 60 reporters and journalists join at that time. We're also really working on stakeholder engagement, keeping producers updated and informed throughout the pandemic. And so we have developed these producer town hall events. And so these are virtual events held online, generally on a Thursday evening. We've had 3 so far, and we've seen great pickup from producers. So over 500 live attendees per session on average, and 525 average views on YouTube. So these sessions are recorded and then uploaded for people to watch at their convenience if they couldn't catch the live session. So we have short panelist presentations and then open it up for audience questions. And we've seen lots of great questions come in. There's an average of about 45 questions per town hall. So, people are really coming there looking for information. They're coming with questions, and we're really hoping that they're leaving feeling, better about the industry, better about the situation when they leave, and absolutely more informed. As well, for industry communications, we've developed what we're calling the virtual news roundup. This is to keep producers involved and up to date, on weeks where there isn't that bigger producer town hall. Where there's still lots of information, but maybe not enough to warrant that next level of communication. So we've had 2 versions now. The first was on May 1st, 2020, and the second we launched just yesterday, May 14th. And so these contain industry updates. There's always a message from the CCA president, Bob Lowe, and then as well we get market information from CanFax, as well as Livestock Markets Association of Canada. The first version had a message from Johnny Betts of McDonald's, and this last version, Ryder Lee and Rich Smith both provide short updates on their provincial funding announcements from Alberta and Saskatchewan. So really great wealth of information in short clips, about each segment is less than 2 minutes, and overall you can get your beef industry news of the week in less than 10. I've also really wanted to share, our gratitude for essential workers in the industry and up their profile. That, we know these people are essential to getting beef on the table for Canadian families. We can't do it without them. So along with Canada Beef, we've developed some messages you can see here from the graphic on the right, thanking workers in the transportation, retail, meat processing plants, and we've done this through the social graphics as well as influencer videos. So really just trying to share our gratitude both within the industry associations as well as from producers. On the issues management side, we have been seeing some narratives online trying to link zoonotic disease references and ties to confined animal feeding operations. And so we've compiled a key messages document in collaboration with BCRC as well as the University of Calgary on animal ag and zoonotic disease. And so these media statements are reiterating that no viral health threats exist in Canada between cattle and humans. And so these will be released on a case-by-case basis and not preemptively. We don't want to put that narrative out any more than it already is, because there is no basis in science for it. But to be ready when we see, if it's picked up by mainstream media, we're ready with a response, stating that, of course, we have strict animal health regulations here in Canada, and we know that healthy animals make for a healthy food system. We're also going into some media training. So we want to position as many young producers as possible in speaking opportunities. So, where appropriate, where instead of, using one of the presidents, if we can put in a young producer who can talk about the risks facing the next generation of farmers and ranchers, we want to do that. And so we've identified candidates across Canada, largely through Cattlemen's Young Leaders and the Young Cattlemen's Council. And so we're going to do virtual media training for these young spokespeople and then try to put them out as much as possible. And that's the update from public and stakeholder engagement. We're working really hard to mitigate the risks to the beef industry during COVID-19. Stay safe.